Hi everyone, Vinicius here with the new series of short videos entitled What's Happening In. The idea behind it is to pick up a section of a tune and break it down so that you can really understand what's happening in there. In this first episode, we'll understand what's happening in the first 4 bars of Donna Lee. Donna Lee is a bebop contrafact written on the changes of Back Home Again in Indiana. The changes for the first 4 bars of Donna Lee are A flat 6, F7, and B flat 7 for 2 bars. Now let's have a look how you can accordingly address those changes when it comes to both comping and improvising. When it comes to comping, as you already know from watching the first episode of my other series called Bopping the Changes, you're going to use Barry Harris's scales of chords. And you're going to begin with a major 6 diminished scale of chords. You're going to begin with a drop 2 voicing root 4 of A flat 6, followed by a drop 3 root 5 voicing of the diminished from A flat 6 diminished scale of chords. That will be followed by a drop 2 voicing root 5 of A flat 6 again, this time with the 5th on the bass. Now let's hear it again. Now we're gonna go to the second bar of Donna Lee, F7, and you're gonna address that chord with the voicing of F7 flat 9th. That will be followed by the root and the root alone of its tritone sub B7. And this will resolve in B flat 7th. Or this will lead to B flat 7th. Now, when it comes to bebop language, you're gonna address that chord B flat 7th, which in the key of A flat major is what we call the 2 dominant chord. You're gonna address that 2 dominant chord B flat 7th with the voicing of B flat 7th flat 5. And how you're going to do that, you're going to use another one of Barry Harris's scales of chords. Now this time you're going to use a minor 6 diminished scale of chords. You're going to take B flat 7th. You're going to go to the 5th of B flat 7th. And you're going to play the minor 6 diminished on the 5 of B flat 7. In that case, it's F minor 6 diminished scale of chords. And you're going to play a drop 2 voicing root 5 with the root on the bass. That will be followed by a drop 2 voicing root 4 with the 5th on the bass. Now that were the 4 first bars of Donna Lee broken down for you. Now let's just hear it again. Now what follows is a major 2-5 in the key of A flat major, which is B flat minor 7th. That you already know from watching the first episode of Bopping the Changes that you're going to address it with another major 6 diminished scale of chords, in this case D flat 6 diminished scale of chords. And you're going to play two voicings of D flat 6, one with the 6th on the bass and one with the 5th on the bass. And both of them are going to be connected with the diminished from D flat 6 diminished scale of chords. And then you're going to go to the 5 chord of A flat major, which is E flat 7th. And you're going to address that chord just as you addressed B flat 7th. You're going to take E flat 7th, you're going to go to the 5th, and you're going to play the minor 6 diminished scale of chords down to the voicing that has the 6 on the bass. B flat minor 6 diminished scale, drop to root 4, down to the voicing that has the 6 on the bass. And this is the voicing of B flat minor 6 diminished scale that expresses E flat 9th. And this chord you're going to resolve again in another drop 2 voicing root 4 of A flat 6 with the root on the bass. Now you're going to turn, as the changes ask, A flat 6 into A flat 7th, and by doing that you're going to use a voicing of A flat 7 sharp 5th and natural 9 that will be followed by a voicing of A flat 7 flat 5 or a drop 2 root 4 voicing of its tritone sub D7. And you're going to resolve it in a drop 2 root 4 voicing of D flat 6 with the 3rd on the bass. And that's the comping of Donna Lee broken down just for you. Now, to improvise on those set of changes, you're going to address them just as follows. You're going to pick the movement that goes from A flat 6 to F7, and in bebop language, you're going to address that movement from the 1 chord A flat 6 to the 6th dominant chord F7 with an A flat major scale down to the 3rd of F7. And with the line that you've been provided with, you're just going to do it as follows. You're going to play an A flat major 7th arpeggio, up to the 5th of A flat major 7th. But at that exact point, the chord moves from A flat 6 to F7. And that note, E flat, moves from being the 5th of A flat 6 to being the flat 7th of F7. And from that note, you're going to play a B flat harmonic minor scale, and you're going to resolve it on the 3rd of B flat 7th. And just as with the comping, to address B flat 7th, the 2 dominant chord, you're going to play an F minor 6 diminished scale. You're going to play it from the 6th up to the 5th, and from the root up to the major 7th. Now this note, the E natural, the major 7th of F minor 6 diminished, is the flat 5 of B flat 7 flat 5. Now let's hear it again. And from that point, we just move to the major 2/5 in the key of A flat major, which is B flat minor 7th, E flat 7th, resolving in A flat 6. And you're gonna address it as follows. In bebop language, we don't think 2-5-1, we think 5. And we're gonna address those changes thinking only in terms of 5-1. And we're gonna concentrate on the E flat 7th chord. Barry Harris says that there are 3 important arpeggios that we can play on a dominant 7th chord. The one from the root, the one from the 5th, and the one from the flat 7th. And that's the one that you're gonna use. You're gonna go a D flat major 7th arpeggio up, down to a G minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio up, the minor 7 flat 5 that expresses E flat 9th, resolving in A flat 6. Now let's hear it again. And the end of the phrase is just that move from A flat 6 to A flat 7th, resolving in D flat 6. And what we're gonna do is just play an A flat 7th scale with half steps down to the root of D flat 6. Now let's just hear the line again. And that's the improv on Donna Lee explained just for you. Thanks for watching What's Happening in my new series of short videos on YouTube. If you're enjoying the content that I'm sharing with you, don't forget to like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the notifications button for more on jazz performance and education.